Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for spending part of your Friday evening with us and tuning in to A Better Chances, Creating Leaders for a Lifetime Virtual Luncheon. My name is Bertha Coombs, and I'll be your host for this evening's program. I'm a business news reporter for CNBC, but one thing I learned long before I knew anything about stocks was that investing in education pays the best dividends. As an immigrant kid in Boston, my family from Cuba, I had two ambitions by the time I was in second grade. I wanted to be the president of the United States because I thought I could be the boss of everyone, and I wanted to go to Harvard. Turns out, since I wasn't born in the US, the first option was not available to me. But A Better Chance helped put the second dream within reach. Getting a scholarship from A Better Chance helped put me on the path toward my dream. I attended Milton Academy in Boston, which helped me make that next leap to my dream school, which by that time turned out to be Yale. But it wasn't just my dream. My mother only completed sixth grade back in Cuba, so it was her ambition that her daughter would go to a fine school, graduate college, and have the opportunity to pursue a career. That is why I, like many alums of A Better Chance, maintain ties to this organization as donors and volunteers. For 57 years, this organization has been changing lives and building a pipeline of leaders like former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick, writers and teachers like Roxane Gay, and former Ford Foundation President Luis Ubiñas. That is the mission of A Better Chance, to develop well-educated young people of color who can grow into our future trailblazers, building an inclusive culture of leadership, which is needed now more than ever. So tonight, you're going to learn more about that mission and the work of A Better Chance, which goes far beyond just writing a check for a scholarship. It's really about building leaders and mentoring young people. You'll also hear from my fellow alum and board chair, Theo Killian, A Better Chance's president and CEO, Francisco Taizen, the real rock stars of our 2020 event here, our Scholar Award winners, and finally, the Innovator Award recipient, Brian Kreider. And one more thing, as Steve Jobs used to say, you're also going to want to stay tuned until the very end for a surprise visit from one of A Better Chance's biggest advocates. You're not going to want to miss that. So let's get this amazing celebration underway, and please join me in welcoming former CEO of Zales Corporation, Hill School class of 1970. I'm not really supposed to say the year. It was just, practically yesterday. And A Better Chance board chair, the most impressive, Theo Killian. Theo, over to you.
Bertha, thank you. And I have now been outed. I am from the Hill School in 1970. And Bertha, you're on the list. It really is an honor to be here this evening. Thank you all for attending. I am humbled. I am proud. And when I think about my journey that started as a boy growing up in Montgomery, West Virginia, raised by my grandparents. My grandmother went to the fourth grade. My grandfather went to the seventh grade. There was no way I could imagine what my journey would be like. They always believed that education would have a transformative effect on my life. So I was a good student by West Virginia standards that somehow along the way, when I was in high school, I got a call to take the private school's aptitude test. I took the test. and I was accepted into the A Better Chance program, a program that has absolutely transformed my life. And as you heard from Bertha, our stories aren't unique. They're unique to us, but they aren't unique to the 17,000 A Better Chance alums, to the 2,000 scholars who are currently in secondary school. It's not a unique story. In fact, what A Better Chance does, which so many others don't, is to go into places where others don't look. Montgomery, West Virginia, the South Side of Chicago, South Central LA, the Churchill section of Richmond in Virginia, Miami. Amazing job of going in and finding these unpolished gems and giving them the educational platform to excel. And what I found about A Better Chance as I've talked to alums this year is, not unlike myself, A Better Chance transforms our families, as Bertha indicated. I've actually talked to A Better Chance alums who've told me that their brothers and sisters were motivated to go on to high school, finish high school, and go on to college, that their mothers, in at least one instance, decided that she was going to get a college degree and said, you know what? I'm going to beat you. I'm going to get my degree before you get your degree. So this multiplier effect, this idea that not only does it affect the student, but it affects the family, it affects our communities, it affects our organizations where we give our time and our talents. And it truly does not only transform us, but it also transforms society. We are writers, broadcasters, actors, lawyers, financial executives, CEOs, and so many others. A Better Chance since 1963, in a time somewhat similar to today. It was a civil rights movement, and visionary headmasters believed they wanted to be part of the solution. So they came up with this idea that we should give talented children who don't have the economic means, but maybe the academic means, the opportunity to go on to private school and then to college. I am enormously proud, and you can see why I am humbled at the honor and see why I am so proud to be an A Better Chance alum. Before I hand off to Francisco Taizen, our president and CEO, I'd like to do a few thank yous. First, I'd like to thank Kurt Van Wagenen, who was chairman of the board before me. Kurt did a terrific job of leading the organization and has been a terrific friend and mentor to me as he stayed on during this tough transitional year. I'd also like to recognize and thank Greg Durant, who's retiring from Deloitte and from A Better Chance, and who's been a great leader at A Better Chance for many, many years. Our board of directors has really stood up this year, giving us access to not only their networks, but also their organizations, and offering their time and their talents, their creativity, and their solutions to the incredible challenges that we faced in 2020. I'd also like to thank our National Advisory Council, a group of dedicated young alums who give their time, their talent, and their money to make sure that A Better Chance is relevant for young professionals and some young graduates from college across the United States. And finally, I'd like to thank the staff of A Better Chance. They are a terrific, motivated, intelligent, creative team who have risen to the occasion this year and gone far and above anyone's expectations for what could be delivered in a really challenging year. So without further ado, I will turn over the meeting to Francisco Taizen, who comes to us from the Food Bank of New York, from Year Up, from Columbia University. He and his wife have had mission-driven careers, and we're thrilled to have Francisco on our team.
Thank you, Theo, and good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. While this isn't exactly how I envisioned my first luncheon, I'm thrilled and grateful that we can come together as a community to celebrate the important work of A Better Chance. I am so inspired by the amazing scholars joining us today who have achieved so much and represent the incredible talent and potential in our communities. Like many of our scholars, I come from a Black and Latinx family that valued hard work and education, but did not always know about the opportunities available. An immigrant from Peru, my dad met my mom while serving in the Marine Corps in North Carolina. My mom grew up in a rural town where our family lived for generations. As teen parents, they prioritized dinner on the table and a roof over our head, putting their own educational aspirations on hold. Instead, they poured all of their love, hopes, and dreams into me. My parents shared a profound belief that education was the key to our American dream. Because of them, throughout my life, I've had a passion for learning that led me to a college prep program that opened doors that I did not even know existed. I earned a scholarship to an independent school, Packer Collegiate Institute, which is a member school of A Better Chance, that my family would never have been able to afford. Beyond the incredible education that I received at Packer, my life was changed because suddenly the world was much bigger to me. I made friends with people who traveled to parts of the world that, until then, were only as real as the dog-eared pages of my encyclopedia. I discovered parts of my city that I never knew before and fell in love with art and museums. And while the sounds of salsa, soul, and country were mainstays in my home, I was introduced to the sounds of bands like The Cure and The Smiths, which frankly to this day still have my parents scratching their heads. More than anything, Packer showed me that I had what felt like unlimited opportunities. And this is our hope for our scholars, a bigger world filled with possibility, adventure, and the chance to become the very best versions of themselves. This is why I am so passionate about A Better Chance and deeply honored to build on the legacy of this organization, which has been making transformation possible for nearly 60 years. I am especially proud to be a part of the A Better Chance team, working alongside Theo, our board, partners, and incredibly dedicated staff. I became president and CEO in February, a few weeks before the pandemic changed everything. And in response to the growing global crisis, we quickly reached two decisions to meet the moment. First, our top priority was ensuring that scholars were safe and had the support needed to thrive educationally. Second, we streamlined our operations and became even more efficient for the health and sustainability of the organization. And with this in mind, we shifted to fully remote programming during the pandemic. While we miss connecting in person, today's work from anywhere mindset means that all scholars all over the country can connect with each other like never before. I'm excited to see the fruits of these new relationships in the years ahead. We've also been able to deepen connections with our amazing alumni community, and we'll continue to increase opportunities for them to connect with our organization and our scholars, because they are impressive leaders from diverse sectors and powerful forces of positive change in our world. We have also been energized by conversations with corporate partners, like our friends at Xerox, who are stepping up to support young people and investing in diverse talent by providing more networking, coaching, and career experiences for our scholars and our powerful alumni community of 17,000 and growing. I'm proud to say that despite the challenges we face in this historic moment, we closed our admission cycle with 523 students placed at our partner schools, exceeding our goals. We welcomed a new cohort of 713 students who are poised to begin the application process and participated in our fully redesigned virtual Summer Leadership Academy. As an education equity organization, we have been working to address the persistent racial injustices in this country for nearly 6 decades. But the country's recent vital discourse on diversity, equity, and inclusion has inspired us to deepen our commitment by reimagining our relationships with schools and partners to accelerate progress. Now is a moment of transformation for A Better Chance. We will continue to reimagine, to innovate, and with all of you, create the leaders for a lifetime who will truly change our world. In a moment, you will hear from some of these leaders firsthand. But before I introduce our amazing young leaders, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors and everyone who supported us tonight, including some special guests. Thank you to our broadcast sponsor, Bridgewater Associates, who have made tonight possible. I also want to recognize our streaming and live sponsors, many of whom are joining us virtually tonight. Lori and Peter Allen Atkins. Peter's a longtime board member and emeritus trustee who asked many of his friends and colleagues to join us tonight and support the event. Costas Family Foundation, Deloitte, DuPont, Theo and Dana Killian, Henry R. Kravis, Ronald and Mary Pressman, Skadden Arps, Stanley Black & Decker, American Express Foundation, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, Comstar Supply, and board member Kurt and Roxana Van Wagenen. There are so many people who have believed in our work, invested in us, and have been sustaining our efforts over the long term. Their names are listed on our website and were visible at the beginning of tonight's program. Thank you to our sponsors and everyone who supported us through your gifts of time, talent, and treasure. Now, to show all of you what this event is all about, what better way than to have our scholars tell you themselves?
I am not defined by status.
I am not confined by stereotypes.
I am driven.
I am determined.
I am waiting
for someone to give me a chance.
Show me the possibilities.
Give me an excuse
to unleash my talent.
I will write the future.
And I will realize the change.
We all want to see in the world.
Given the opportunity, there is no stopping me.
There's no stopping me.
There's no stopping me.
There's no stopping me.
I now have the pleasure to introduce you to two exceptional young women who are awarded a Better Chance's highest honors this year. The Nancy J. Lucas Award, established in memory of our beloved senior program coordinator who served the New York metro area from 1985 to 2002, is awarded to a scholar who demonstrates leadership in promoting equity and justice at his or her school, and who offers special encouragement to peers. This year's honor is awarded to Yasmin Jaffier Williams. And the Judith Barry Griffin Award, named for a Better Chance's fourth president, is awarded to a senior who has shown exceptional determination to succeed despite challenging circumstances. This year's award winner is Savannah Shepard. These young women are truly leaders for a lifetime.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. First and foremost, I am thankful and deeply honored to be the recipient of the Nancy J. Lucas Memorial Award. As you just heard, Nancy J. Lucas was a senior program coordinator for ABC, and she has contributed a lifetime of service to the ABC community. For this award, it is given to an ABC scholar who promotes equity and justice at their member school. I definitely believe that I have fulfilled this goal with the support of my family, friends, many members in the Wellesley community, the Wadley Scholars Program, and the ABC program. When I think of my ABC journey, I remember the moments of courage, determination, and most importantly, adversity. I bring up adversity specifically as being the most important because in many cases, those were the moments that would partially define who I am as a person. Even though I have overcome many challenges, facing and confronting racism was the most prevalent challenge throughout my journey. It was truly hard for me to be on the receiving end of racist behaviors, microaggressions, and unintended slights, as well as see the effects of racism on other people of color around me. And I want to emphasize that it's not only the fact that someone goes through adversity, but how they respond to it, and with the words of Dr. Angelou in her poem describing how other people treated her, "Still I rise." And like Dr. Angelou, I rose above my challenges through my participation in the Wellesley community. In response to many racist situations, such as an African-American teacher at my school being sent a racist email, I and other students of color, teachers, and allies responded to these racist actions by having a walkout. We then formed many groups that aim to get at the heart of privilege, bring awareness to the need for dismantling structures and practices that promote white supremacy, and give voice to the experiences of people of color within our community. For example, I was a co-founder and co-leader of Young Ethnic Scholars and Let's Talk About Race. I was an advisor of the Women of Color group as well. Due to my participation in all these impactful groups that both raised awareness and challenged WHS to effect positive change, I have been awarded the Jerry Murphy Humanities Award, the League of Women Voters Award, the Principals Award for Commitment to Community, the John Hamilton Award, the Class Humanitarian Superlative Award, and the Senior Cup Award. But to be honest, at many moments through my experience, I was scared to take a stand against racism and protest the norm. Audre Lorde encapsulates that time of my life perfectly. When I dare to be powerful, to use my voice, my strength in the service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I am afraid. Although I had projected confidence to some, I was actually nervous during the time I first co-started the Let's Talk About Race Club in my sophomore year of high school. I had to constantly remind myself that this was not about me. It was about the difference we were making for the larger community. Another major factor that influenced my decision to take a stand was the key people in the community who have left a profound impact on my life. My family, my host family, my wonderful teachers who became mentors and friends, my high school friends, my housemates, and many members in the Wellesley ABC board. I must acknowledge that I would not have met many of the people who have greatly impacted my life without ABC. If it were not for ABC accepting me into the program and providing me with a chance to attend Wellesley High School, I would not have had the experiences that have cultivated me to become a strong, outspoken Black woman. As I pursue the next 4 years of study at American University, I am committed to continue to grow as a leader, setting examples through my academic achievement, my voice that champions social justice, and my commitment to equity for all. Thank you once again.
Good evening. To the dedicated leaders of A Better Chance, my fellow classmates in Philadelphia Cohort 3, graduating class of 2020, and all of the ABC scholars, my name is Savannah Shepard, and it is truly an honor to be here virtually with you all today. I am honored to receive the 2020 Judy Berry Griffith Award because I have worked so hard over the last 3 years. Having my work recognized with this prestigious award means so much to me. These are definitely unprecedented times in many different ways, including the arrival of COVID-19, the recent surge of media attention given to the murders of innocent Black people, and high emotions during this election season. I am determined to do my part as a leader and a member of the Black community to use my voice and stand strong in my beliefs. The road to finding my voice began when I was a nervous 12-year-old 7th grader who was led to join A Better Chance. When I walked into my first A Better Chance meeting, I did not know what to expect, and I did not know anyone. I remember being told that I would have opportunities to take the SSAT and SAT, and that I would receive guidance on which high schools would be the best fit for me. Daunted by the prospects of standardized tests looming overhead and determining my future, I pressed ahead. After preparing for my exams, the next major hurdle to tackle was my independent school interviews. I was a shy, quiet little girl at the time and truly afraid of our first practice interview day. I'm sure that my interview was less than stellar, but the feedback I received was all constructive and positive, and I left the building that day feeling on top of the world. Little did I know at that time just how often I would have to fall back on the interview skills I learned as a part of the A Better Chance process, and how these skills would help me amplify my voice and speak up for what I believe in. We, as members of the ABC community, are truly blessed to have access to such amazing and useful resources. After having the fortune of getting into Sanford School, I found my passion for social justice work. In April of 2018, I had the life-changing opportunity to attend the opening of the Legacy Museum and the National Memorial for Peace and Justice in Montgomery, Alabama, opened by the Equal Justice Initiative. This trip allowed me to see and hear the true history of our nation and to discover stories that I may not have otherwise known. As a result, I decided that I wanted to partner with the Equal Justice Initiative to have Delaware acknowledge the lynching of George White and erect a historical marker in memoriam. Contacting the Delaware Department of Public Archives was the first step, and they were in full support of this effort. After submitting a detailed application to EJI, I formed a coalition of interested community members, including educators, law enforcement executives, politicians, and students, to support the project. We called it the Delaware Social Justice Remembrance Coalition. I have gone around and spoken at different schools and conferences and brought many state leaders together to initiate institutional change. We would like to be able to make a statement in the state of Delaware that our citizens acknowledge the past and have great hope for a just and peaceful future. This project is designed to build awareness and promote change. We held beautiful ceremonies unveiling the marker in June of 2019 and again in October after the first marker was stolen in what was deemed a hate crime. While this work can be tiring and daunting, I am filled with reassurance and vigor knowing that there are other young students of color getting the guidance that I received that helped me find my passion. It excites me to think about all the change that you, as an ABC scholar, can ignite and the love you will bring into the world. I want to end this again by thanking the entire A Better Chance family for all the support and guidance I was given throughout my high school search process and beyond. I am so honored to receive this award, and I cannot wait to see all of the amazing things that the future ABC cohorts will accomplish. Thank you.
Thank you to the Better Chance community, and good evening to all of you. I'm Robin Shepard, the head of corporate engagement at Bridgewater Associates, a global institutional investor based in Westport, Connecticut, and a proud supporter of A Better Chance. Your mission to expand opportunity is critically important to our firm. We know that the best talent brings diverse experiences, perspectives, and skills to the table, and that's how we keep our competitive edge. So we champion the work A Better Chance is doing to create opportunities and develop future leaders of color. Thank you all for what you do. It's also my honor to introduce the next speaker, Bridgewater's Chief Operating Officer, my dear friend, and the recipient of this year's Innovators Award, Brian Kreider. Brian's leadership is well known inside our firm, but outside of Bridgewater, Brian has a long history of bringing to bear his incredible vision and drive in support of others. As a young undergraduate at Yale, he founded Lift, a nonprofit that empowers families to break the cycle of poverty. And 2 decades later, this organization continues to make incredible impact across the U.S. In addition to his work at Bridgewater, Brian is a committed and engaged citizen and neighbor. He serves on the boards of the Urban Institute, Aspen Institute's Finance Fellows, Finance Leaders Fellowship, and Open Doors Shelter in Norwalk, Connecticut. As a leader, Brian truly lives out our firm's values around diversity, equity, and inclusion, and has been a mentor and sponsor to many young leaders. If you spoke to the firm's up-and-coming talent, you would hear countless stories of getting a weekend email from Brian offering encouragement, congratulations on a recent achievement, or perhaps a challenge to push in a new or more ambitious direction. Brian takes the time to acknowledge greatness around him and invest in the success of others. But you gave him this award because he's an innovator. And I'd like to share a short anecdote about Brian and innovation. When the pandemic hit a few months ago, Brian immediately asked the question of what he and others could do to support our hardest hit members of our community. In just a number of days, partnering with local organizations, Brian and some of our partners at Bridgewater spearheaded the launch of Neighborshare, a platform that connects families to others in their neighborhood struggling to pay rent or put food on the table. Virtually overnight, he and the team brought together a capable task force made up of community leaders, designers, technologists, and more, resulting in a powerful platform that's already making a difference in the local community and is rapidly expanding across the country. Equally important in building Neighborshare, Brian created leadership opportunities for others to step forward, to shape this venture with their talents and make it their own platform for both professional development and social change. The story of Neighborshare embodies the kind of leader and innovator that I know Brian to be. It's my honor to introduce him to you. Congratulations, Brian.
Thank you so much, Robin, and the other Bridgewater Associates team members who joined. We're thrilled to be here tonight to celebrate the work of this wonderful organization. I'm also so honored to have had the chance to help recognize all of the ABC scholars tonight. It should not have required the intensity of the recent events to open every eye, every mind, and every heart to the reality that the system, nearly every system, does not function as it should. People in this country often do not naturally find their way through to a path to opportunity unless there's some external wind at their back. And that simply is not the reality for most. An American today trying to navigate their way through the healthcare system, employment ladder, even registering to vote, we'll find that there are barriers, blockages, detours, and distractions. And we surely know that is true more for some than for others, particularly for those who don't look like me or come from the Midwestern suburb where I was raised. When I was a freshman in college, I met a man who just needed a little help. He needed some help finding employment, finding housing, just basically getting his life moving. I tried to simply help him navigate the system that was in theory set up to help him because I expected it to work. But as I began to walk the world in his shoes for a bit, I was struck by the bitter reality that though the resources were seemingly available, they were not easily attainable. Out of this interaction, a partner and I began to grow an organization that focused on two things: calling out problems and working to fix the overall system of safety and mobility that is badly broken, but simultaneously helping our neighbors across the country navigate the system as it is today. Since then, we've helped tens of thousands of families navigate to better economic circumstances. But even more so, we've learned that this pattern of needing to both fix and transcend the system repeats itself. And I've learned to recognize that pattern. As you all know well, the education system in this country is in immense need of renovation. It is not fit to the task, and we must fight that fight for change. At the same time, you at ABC have shown that there's immense opportunity for change and transcendence every day. By giving individual students a chance for a different trajectory, by helping them navigate through to the maze of opportunity they rightfully deserve, to opportunity we need them to have in order to change the very system itself. I'm immensely honored to be among this community this evening and for the opportunity to appreciate the work of A Better Chance up close. It is so clear from how ABC has approached adjusting to this pandemic that this is very much an organization of agility and innovation. At the end of the day, innovation is just waking up each day and seeing the world in new ways. It is so easy to see how each ABC scholar is both in her or himself an innovation, and collectively a community that we will count on to have the large-scale change that is so badly needed. ABC has the hypothesis right. The best chance for system change is positioning new leaders, ones who are best suited to innovate and build a better world because of their talents, but also because of their experience, because of their backgrounds, and because of their identity. We need to fill our classrooms, our boardrooms, and the halls of our Capitol with leaders who will come through this program and those like it. I'm still on my own journey of learning about how best to empower others to take their seats at the table. I encourage all of us tonight to think about how we can play a role in advancing the work of this vital organization. These scholar leaders are our best and proudest hope. This is how the system will be changed, and this is how the future will be made. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian. You know, there have been times this year when sometimes things have just been so overwhelming. I think a lot about the words of Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers' mom, who told him, you know, when things are bad, look to the people who are helping. And that's what we brought you tonight. Thank you, Brian and Bridgewater Associates, for your inspiring words and your commitment to helping change lives, like those of our Scholar Award winners who were here tonight on camera, and a shout out to those who have not joined us on camera. I urge everyone to take a look at the faces of all of the Scholar Award winners on our luncheon website. These are the faces of more of these leaders for tomorrow, people who will give us hope and hopefully bring us to a better place. But I told you, we have one more thing. Right now, before we leave you, we have a special guest with an exciting announcement. And to help share the good news, I want to welcome my fellow A Better Chance alumni to join me on screen. You might recognize her from last Tuesday's Alumni Showcase, Creators of Color, or as the incredible writer, producer, and orator that she is. Please welcome Krishanda Lee Perez. Krishanda, take it away. Krishanda, we're having trouble hearing you. Could you unmute? Okay, see, this is the thing. We are doing this live, so we do have these glitches that happen now and then. We still can't hear you. Not sure why. All right, what shall we do here, guys? All right, I do not have your script with me, but at any rate, Krishanda was going to introduce you to one of our biggest supporters at ABC over the years. You know her as really one of the women who is an amazing leader, an amazing force, none other than Oprah Winfrey, who has a message for us tonight, and she is appearing now on tape. So here's Oprah with her message for A Better Chance.
Hello, everyone. It brings me such joy to see you all coming together in this moment to support A Better Chance. You know, I have been a supporter of Better Chance for several decades now, ever since I discovered the incredible work that you all do, taking bright, willful kids and opening the door of possibility through better access, through education and exposure. A Better Chance, actually, helped me find a great school to put my once little nerdy niece Krishanda through, Miss Porter's, and then I have since put many other girls through Miss Porter's through A Better Chance. As a matter of fact, it was the Better Chance model I had in mind when creating my own boarding school, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa. I did exactly what A Better Chance does in recruiting. I went to villages and townships looking for the best and brightest students who had the will, but not the means or the way for a better education. For nearly 6 decades, A Better Chance has been doing that, serving children of color who have leadership potential. And we all know that tomorrow's leaders are going to come from a diverse background and offer their unique perspectives and experiences to help heal the soul of our country and the world with all the social injustices and the upheaval that we're currently facing. So I committed years ago a major donation, and I remain committed to supporting A Better Chance. Today, I'm donating $100,000. I encourage everyone to find your own way to serve. Not everybody can be famous, is what Martin Luther King used to say. That's one of my favorite quotes. Not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. So you're all here today, gathered in hopefulness for a better future for youngsters who wouldn't have a way without you. So I hope you will look deep into the spirit of yourself. I know lots of things are going on and lots of people need help, but I look at my donation, those in the past, and even the one I'm giving today, as an investment in our children. It's an investment that gives you returns unimaginable. Think of it as an investment. It's an investment in someone's life, an investment in a young person's future, and the possibility of who they can become. Thanks.
Wow. And thank you so much, Oprah, for that generous donation. As she said, this is an organization that supports young people, supports who they can be, the possibility of what they can do, and it really does pay dividends to societies. You've seen so many people who are business leaders and political leaders and thought leaders as well, and we need more young people being able to come into the system and be at the top of the system and bring us forward to a more hopeful place and a more inclusive place. But as you know, part of the reason we're doing this virtual luncheon this year is that we had to cancel our annual in-person meeting. And yeah, it's a lot more fun when we're in person. You feel the energy in the room, you get to talk to everyone, but that's also when we do the bulk of fundraising. And this year's cancellation of the luncheon, because of the COVID situation, has meant that a Better Chances Scholarship Fund is really lacking. About $1 million is what we normally get from the luncheon. So whatever you can do, we're hoping that you can do your part. Join Oprah, join those of us who are committed to this organization that has done so much good already and can do so much more and help so many more deserving young people move ahead. Please consider a donation. I'm not sure if we have one here, but certainly go to our website where you came to register here. And I hope you do make a contribution for the future for young people like Yasmin and Savannah, who've already accomplished so much in their young lives and have so much more ahead of them. Also, want you to avail yourself if you go to the Better Chance site as well. We do have a virtual auction this year as well. So in addition to making an out and out donation, which is a wonderful thing, and perhaps getting your organizations, your employers, and your businesses to also match those donations as well, you can bid on a vacation and other items at that virtual location. And you can see there, you can text for that auction and they'll tell you all the wonderful things that you can get for that. On behalf of everyone tonight, I hope that you've been as moved as I have by our stories and that it leaves you with a bit of hope about what is possible and how much lies ahead. The good things that lie ahead and the leaders who are going to get us there. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And please, if you can, give us some sort of donation tonight to help with this cause, help young people who are really making strides and are really going to be the leaders of tomorrow. Thanks.